Hello friend, are you ready for some paper adventures? I saved you a seat, so let's pull up and get started. Today we are going to do some just basic paper backgrounds for collage. We may do some mark making with these in a later video, but we're just going to do some backgrounds today. And we're going to do an easy way so that all of your backgrounds papers will coordinate with each other, which I think is very important. I hate making beautiful papers and then they don't go together. So let's use a little color theory here to get this going. I have a mixture of paper. I love graph paper, love it. I love it in my planner. I love to use it in my art. So I have some just vintage kind of an old pad of graph paper. I have an old book. Don't get upset. This book was going to the landfill. I saved it, going to repurpose it, make some art out of it. This is some paper. I have no idea what kind of paper this is. It's out of a notepad and I like it because the paper is so thin. Then I have some mixed media paper that came from a big paper pad, as you can see. Still has some of the spiral edge on it, which is not a big deal. We don't care. So to do this, I am not a primary color girly, but I have my cup of water, I have my paintbrush, I have a spray bottle to add water, I have my paint palette here, and I have just basic red, blue, and yellow primary colors, and then I also have black and white. So we will use the three of these colors, or the three of these with these, to get different colors, and they will all go together at the end of the day. So first of all, I want to just add a little bit here. If I can get that to close. Why don't you want to close? Okay. And some red and some yellow right in there. We'll add some, this is just Mars Black Liquitex opaque goodness. And then I have titanium white, also a little bit of that around there. All right, now we can play around. And I have my spray bottle here if I want to dilute a little bit, water it down, anything like that. So let's spend a few minutes seeing what colors we can come up with here. Like I said, I'm not a primary color individual, so I don't necessarily want to use the straight pigment, but I do love a little orangey, red, orangey, yellowy color. So let's do some of that and put a little bit of black in there, a little bit more yellow. See what color we get here. Oh, this is definitely too dark, isn't it? That turned brown. Obviously need a little more color theory in my life. But I do like this when I put it on. Put some other with it and it just brings out those streaks in there. Really like that. We're a little brown, a little bit yellow. This is going to be so pretty though at the end of the day once it dries and we put some other colors on top of that. Okay, like I said, these are just for collage. So I do not want them to be all one color. I want them to be all mixed and matched and blended together. So here we've got a nice kind of yellow brown. Okay. Now here, let's put some red and some yellow. Let's get a little brighter orange going. That's gonna be beautiful. And I don't need full coverage for these papers either. I do not, because I'm going to do some art making over the top of them when I'm done. So they do not have to be perfect. They can be messy. They can be streaked. They can have holes in them. Like this does not bother me because it's going to be beautiful and just add depth to my paper at the end of the day. So there we go. Beautiful orange. It's a little bit of black and some brown. So pretty. Do some blue. So pretty. Oops. I thought I would mix it in the palette, but I think I kind of actually like the way it blends on the page as opposed to just all in the on the palette before. But I love the streaks that happen. I'm not cleaning my brush in between these, obviously, as you can see, but I like how it's picking up some of the past colors that are still down in the bristles and adding that to the mix. Love this. Put a little bit of this on here as well. This is just the paper, that thin notepad paper. There's no, oops, there's no lines on this paper. But I like the way this is turning out very much. So we'll put a little bit more here. I like how mixing a little bit of this brown really brings some depth into there. And I'm just dry brushing this on here, using a little bit of water to blend it, but I do like the paint brush strokes from the dry brushing, so that turned out really great. I'm liking what's happening so far. Okay, let's see if we can come up with some lighter washes here. Here we go. Gonna make this more watery and blended. Really pretty greeny yellow. We can put a little bit more yellow on here. I'm adding a little bit of water to kind of wash the color out a little bit. And so makes it a little more watercolory. Oops, I have some red on my on my hand. All right. There we go. Wipe this off here. And what I love about this is paper I used the other day, and you can see it has some messiness on it, but it does not matter because it's collage paper and it doesn't need to be perfect at all. Nice red and yellow blending together. And you see this palette looks like a hot mess, but I really like how when you put it onto the paper, it really turns out very nice. You get a lot of depth for collage, and you get colors that don't look anything like that mess that's in the palette. So don't let that freak you out. Here's this kind of peachy, pinky, reddy brown brown color, and you'll see what I'm talking about here soon, about these paints, all these pages that can be very different, still going together. Put some blue on here. I'll put some of this brown color. It's fun to just play and not have to think so much. It's a little bit of a zen moment for me to do this just kind of intuitively and not get so hung up on anything being perfect, because at the end of the day, it's going to turn out beautiful. As they say, you have to trust the process, right? Trust the process. So I do not need to get it edge to edge. It's fun if I can, but there we go. Letting these dry a little bit. Let's do some of this book page paper. I really like using this paper because the text really shows up well through the paint, and it just adds a whole different texture to the collage that you're making. I'm a big fan of words. I use words. It's one of my must-haves in my work that I do. Is it needs to have words in it somewhere. It's very important to me. Is there something in your art that you find yourself always gravitating to, or something you think really is a must-have? Here's this page. Got a lot of different colors going there. Do another one of these. Put some. All right. Do some of that. We'll do some more of this brown here. Get this going. Then we might even add some of this blue. I'm not much of a purple person, so if I am using purple, it's usually because it was a request and not because it was something that I did on purpose. I don't know why. It's just, purple is not my color, but I'm kind of digging how this is working out here. Look at that, just turning really purple. And it's okay if we get more than we intended on that paper. Let's go ahead and put some of that on there. Oh, it's beautiful. I love all these colors getting a little mushed together like this. Turns a little violet, a little blue, a little pink. This one's got a little bit of almost every color in it, and I like that. So there we go. I'm gonna put a little more yellow in here. Okay, put some yellow in here. Ooh, look at that rainbow. She's pretty. I'll just call that good. Very nice. Okay, let's try some of this graph paper. Like I said, I really enjoy the background on my background or the background for my background. It's fun, and let's see what we get here. A little more washed out for this one. Not all of them have to be really super pigmented and intense. Can have some. Let's put a little blue in here too. Now that the paper's a little wet, we can blend all this in. A little more water. I love yellow and blue and green. That whole colorway is very nice. So, all right. There we go. Some graph paper there. All right, let's mix some black up with some white here. Get some gray and some yellow going in here. A little bit of red. There we go. Like I say, I like the brush strokes, so I don't want to do too much. Okay, let's try a piece of our mixed media paper. And like I said, don't freak out from my palette over here, because I am a mixed media artist, not a painter. But I do enjoy the mixing up of the colors. And like I say, got to trust the process for your collage projects. Put a little black on here. And this really is very freeing to me, and it's something I really enjoy spending time just making some background papers, because I know I will do some mark making on here and it will turn out gorgeous. Let's put a little bit of yellow here and there just for funsies. Just to brighten things up a little bit. And this has no pattern on the back, so or behind the paint, so we can add as many layers as we want to. So pretty. All right. So we've got this paper. So let me move this. We can talk about how now all of these, because we use the same palette for the whole, now we can see how all of these papers can coordinate into one palette. So you could pull, once I will put some mark making on these, but once we do, how every single one of these papers will go together. So I can put this paper in one big stack. I can pull from this stack, and every one of these papers will go with all the other papers. Again, trust the process. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope this encourages you to get in there, get in your creative space, and get you a messy palette and just doodle. Just put that brush onto the paper with some water and see what happens, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you. And here are some of the papers up close. You can see they may come across a little muddy on camera, but they're really beautiful in person. They will add a lot of depth to my work, even though they don't look very dramatic on camera. In person, they actually have a lot of color to them. I'm gonna put them in the sun so you can see them. Really beautiful papers we have here. So once again, thank you so much for watching.